I know I speak for every man and woman of the huge throng who worked so long and so faithfully on this great, fantastic Fairyland project, which has had such a tremendous impact on the war against Japan. So much credit is due to so many that it would be difficult to properly apportion that credit. We have, however, a sense of great moral responsibility because this great power has been given to us, and we should be ever humble and grateful that it was given to us rather than to our enemies. And all of us who have had a part in its development and in carrying out its use should dedicate our strength, our wealth, our brains, and even our very lives to see that it is always used for good and never for evil.
We were briefed on, of course, a primary and a secondary target as usual. We took off and the flight was uneventful except for some weather on the way up. The primary target was located, and we made 3 runs on it, but were unable to get into it. Commander Ashworth and I held a little conference with the Bombardier and the navigator, and we started for the secondary target, which was Nagasaki, at which time the flight engineer told us we had just 1,300 gallons of gasoline left. We picked our route into the secondary target and dropped it on Nagasaki.
There was a tremendous suspense and tension as we approached the target because we had just failed to be able to bomb our primary target. We made our tests as we proceeded into the dropping point. I knew that everything was functioning perfectly. At that time, the Bombardier took over. He did an excellent job, for as soon as the bomb was released, there was considerable relief, and I knew when I saw the flash of the explosion that the second atomic bomb had been successfully delivered to the enemy.
I suppose it was when the clouds opened up over the target at Nagasaki. The target was there pretty as a picture. I made the run, let the bomb go. That was my greatest thrill.
We were very relieved to have it go. Much more relieved when we saw the tremendous flash and knew that it had functioned. At that point, we hit the road for Okinawa, the first petrol station.
The crew of the B-29 that will hurl the cataclysm. Atomic bomb commander on the scene, Brigadier General Farrell. In charge of tactical work, Commander Ashworth. In a project both scientific and military, the B-29 pilot is Major Sweeney. And the atomic missile will be aimed by Bombardier Captain Beahan. These are some of the personalities. Now the takeoff, bound for Nagasaki. A terrifying moment. From a great altitude, we see the atomic explosion. The phantasmal swirl of atomic energy soars upward in a column capped by a mushroom shape. A whirlpool of elemental fires rising to 60,000 feet. The blast that turns square miles of the great Jap warport into flattened rubbish is filmed by Army Signal Corps cameras miles away. The second atomic bomb to hit Japan, the first destroyed Hiroshima, and Japan surrendered in the face of atomic obliteration. That column of doom towering to the stratosphere, crowned with a stupendous mushroom of elemental disintegration.